Oh, it's a whole lot to unpack with Tim Norman, child. This Tim Norman situation, I don't even know what to say. If y'all have been under a rock, news broke yesterday that Tim Norman, the son of Miss Robbie over at Sweetie Pies, had been arrested on federal charges stemming from the 2016 murder of his nephew, 18-year-old Andre Montgomery. A lot of this played out on the show Sweetie Pies. Tim Norman and his mom had actually went to the location where the nephew had been shot, on the show. People are now on that clip online. Like, let me go look and see what they saying on this clip. Hold on. Online on this clip, they was like dragging him on the Sweetie Pies clip. Sweetie Pie, hold on. Here it is right here. And they want y'all to know, honey, that they see Tim. They knew something was up with Tim. They're saying all kind of things. We're gonna talk about the story in a second, but I just wanted to be nosy real quick. The people in the comment section saying that dude is what a definition of a snake, a devil, and then go back to the scene with his mom. They said sometimes it be your own family, and to think Tim is the reason why Andre is dead. Wow. So everybody over there looking at the clip, because this clip came out in 2016 and they were actually at the site, the location where he was shot in St. Louis. And it's just interesting. So the story goes, let me put his picture back up. And that's his mugshot. He's smiling in his mugshot. He's been investigated ever since it happened. There's a stripper involved. A stripper arrived in. Let me just read it, child, because I can't go by memory. It is too much going on in this damn news. James Timothy Norman's reality TV show storyline often featured his search for redemption from a violent past. So Tuesday's news of his alleged murder for hire plot shook viewers who watched him mourn the death he is now accused of facilitating. Norman, 41, was a star on Welcome to Sweetie Pies, a reality show that ran for 5 seasons on OWN and highlighted Sweetie Pies, a new St. Louis area soul food business owned by Norman's mother, Robbie Montgomery. Norman was arrested Tuesday and accused in federal court of orchestrating the shooting death of his 21-year-old nephew, Andre Montgomery Jr. The nephew, who also appeared on the show, was Robbie Montgomery's grandson. Federal authorities say Norman hired Terica Ellis, a former St. Louis County resident who was working in Memphis, Tennessee, as an exotic dancer to help in the March 2016 killing near Fairground Park. Prosecutors say Norman then attempted to collect on the life insurance benefits of his nephew's death. On Wednesday, past TV clips of Norman's reaction to his nephew's death circulated online. Norman had visited the scene, which we just watched, of the killing with his mother, along with TV cameras for a 2016 episode. During that episode, he said, since Andre's passing, I haven't gone through that part of the city. Really, I've been avoiding it. The 21-year-old was killed the 3900 block of Natural Bridge Avenue, not far from where his father was killed shortly before Norman's birth. Wow. Robbie Montgomery's nephew was also shot and killed nearby. Norman, in a later episode, sat a few seats from his mother as she was interviewed about her grandson's killer. So the timeline of events is as follows. Prosecutors say that Tim Norman, took out a $450,000 life insurance policy on his nephew, Andre Montgomery Jr. in 2014, making himself the sole beneficiary of said policy. Whew, it's always money, huh? It's always about the money. Hold on, let me go back. He also made false statements about his nephew's income and family history in the policy documents. Montgomery was 18 when Norman took out the policies, but he said he had a family and he was married. Montgomery had been featured on the show 1 year earlier, graduating from McClure North High School. The show documented the teen's transition, moving from Texas to live with his grandmother near St. Louis so she could help him get through school. In March 2016, Norman had moved to Los Angeles near a new restaurant he owned in Inglewood. Early in the morning, the day his nephew was killed, Norman arrived in St. Louis by plane and booked a room at the Chase Park Hotel, according to court documents. By 1 p.m. that day, 2 burner phones, prosecutors say, were used by Ellis and Norman, were activated in St. Louis. Court documents claim that at 7 p.m. that night, Montgomery texted Ellis the address of the recording studio where Montgomery, an aspiring rapper, was working. At about an hour later, he was shot at the same location. After receiving Montgomery's text, prosecutors say Ellis immediately called Norman. Witnesses told police that Montgomery took a call just before 8 p.m. that night and went outside to meet someone. Honey, they've been watching them a long time. A review of his phone record showed police that Montgomery spoke to 2 people in the 10 minutes before he was shot. Ellis and 1 other friend. So he had talked to the stripper girl and 1 other friend. Prosecutors say Ellis was saved in Montgomery's phone under her stage name and Instagram handle, Alexis the Great. Ellis's phone data also put her at the scene of the crime, according to the documents. And despite being at the scene of Montgomery's murder at 8:02 p.m., the documents state that Ellis' call was not to police, but she called Tim Norman at 8:03 p.m. Prosecutors say location data show Ellis then drove away from the scene and headed back to Memphis, Tennessee. The burner phones were turned off the next day and never used again. Over the next few days, Ellis deposited more than $9,000 in cash into several bank accounts. A week after the death, Norman contacted a life insurance company and attempted to collect on his nephew's policy, but he never received the money because of lack of documentation. Oh, wow, it's a whole lot. Norman was upfront about his criminal past, blah, 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 after describing the difficulty in rebuilding a life after spending 10 years in prison as a teen. Norman was 17 and a senior at Hazelwood Central High School in 1997 when he and another teen were charged with a series of felonies. So Norman, he has his own struggles. A lot of people have been hitting me up in my DM, said that, it's rumor around St. Louis that, he had allegedly, molested the nephew when he was young, and the nephew was going to tell, and it was all kind of stuff that's going on. So we'll never know what the complete story is, and I'm sure there will be more details. Oh, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. You said for the love of money, prepaid. Child, y'all talk about Tim and them hips. Like, we always knew something was wrong. Let me finish looking at this article, seeing what else they got in here. There's a whole lot in this article. Tim's mother sued him back in June 2016, claiming his operation of 3 Sweetie Pies restaurants was a copyright infringement. So Norman wanted to expand the business into a national chain, but he eventually had to close several locations. Now that's interesting because in this, in my DMs, they were saying that they feel like the mom was part of the investigation because apparently the nephew had confided in the mom. And this is just word on the street, so I don't know. In April 2017, Norman was charged with misdemeanor assault at a Houston's restaurant location that has since closed. A former chef at the restaurant accused Norman of punching him in the face when the chef asked him about paychecks for other employees. That case is ongoing. Norman was living in Jackson, Mississippi, where he co-owns another Sweetie Pies location at the time of his arrest. He faces a charge of conspiracy to use interstate commerce facilities in commission of a murder for hire. Now, let's talk about Terica for a minute. Here's her mugshot because she got arrested also. Terica is the exotic dancer that, was in the phone and they traced her phone to the location. So, prosecutors will not say how Ellis and Norman met, how Terica met the nephew, but court records show that Ellis lived for a time in St. Louis. Ellis was living in Florissant in 2010, according to court documents tied to a landlord dispute. Court documents say she later moved to Memphis, but would occasionally return to visit the St. Louis area. Court documents also show Ellis has 2 misdemeanor convictions from 2006 to 2007. One is an indecent exposure charge connected to her employment at the time at the Pure Passion strip club in Memphis. The other is a drug possession offense. Ellis was arrested in July and faces the same conspiracy to murder for hire charge as Norman. So she's been locked up a little longer than he has. So I guess, she provided more details to the case. Oh, I didn't even put the picture in there. Miss Robbie was teaching Andre the business. You said Pure Passion. You know what Pure Passion is, John? You been there? You been in that strip club? Never trust a man with childbearing. She only got $9,000 to ruin her life, child. It sounds like something that'll be on one of those on TV shows, the ID network, late at night. I don't know what's going on. It's just unfortunate that like he would do that to his own family member. That means you don't give a damn about nobody. If he'll do that to his nephew, he'll do that to his mom. How many other people he got insurance policies on that he might be looking to cash in on? How many others?